Sobat investor, berikut ini adalah beberapa tips yang bisa kalian coba untuk mencapai financial freedom. Yang pertama, pahami kondisi finansial. Kalian harus paham berapa jumlah pendapatan dan berapa jumlah pengeluaran. Yang kedua adalah tentukan tujuan keuangan agar kedepannya kalian lebih mudah untuk menyusun strategi untuk mencapai tujuan keuangan tersebut. Ketiga, carilah sumber pendapatan yang lain. Biarlah pendapatan dari aset itu bisa menutupi pengeluaran utama atau pengeluaran pokok.
Fitch affirms Indonesia's rating with stable outlook. Health Minister sees pandemic as momentum to build health system resiliency. Hello, good evening. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of information from business, economic, and capital market sector. As the pandemic is still ongoing, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information, and please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, and avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands, and having less mobility. With me, Wicky Adrian, this is Market Headlines. Fitch affirmed Indonesia's sovereign credit rating at BBB or investment grade with a stable outlook. However, Fitch has highlighted several challenges that cast a shadow on the nation's economic prospect, including high dependence on external financing.
Bank Indonesia reported that Fitch affirmed Indonesia's sovereign credit rating at BBB or investment grade with a stable outlook. Bank Indonesia Governor Peri Warjio said the affirmation of Indonesia's rating at BBB with stable outlook reflects recognition from Fitch as one of the world's leading credit rating agencies over the macroeconomic stability and financial system of Indonesia that remain manageable. In addition, it also indicates strong prospects for the domestic economy in the medium term amid uneven global economic recovery and uncertainty about the global financial market. Fitch affirmation of Indonesia's credit rating is based on good prospects for the nation's economic growth in the medium term and the low ratio of the government's debt to the national gross domestic product. However, Fitch has highlighted several challenges that may cast a shadow on the nation's economic prospects, including high dependence on external financing, low government revenues, and several structural features such as per capita GDP and governance indicators lagging behind other countries that have the same rating, he pointed out. IDX Channel reports.
The Ministry of Finance announced that it has budgeted for 114 trillion rupiah or around $28.9 billion for the National Economic Recovery Program in 2022. The ministry says that budget is allocated for healthcare, social benefits, and economic recovery initiatives.
Finance Minister Sri Mulyani Indrawati confirmed that the ministry has budgeted 414 trillion rupiah or around $28.9 billion for the National Economic Recovery Program in 2022 to assist residents and businesses next year. Sri Mulyani revealed that from the total 414 trillion rupiah, the ministry has allocated 117.9 trillion for healthcare, 154.8 trillion for social benefits, and 141.4 trillion for economic recovery. Budget allotment in the healthcare and social benefits is open for revision based on developments in the handling of COVID-19 and actual needs, the minister stated. Meanwhile, budget allocations in the social benefits pot would be divided into the Family Benefits Program targeting 10 million recipients, Basic Food Benefits targeting 18.8 million recipients, Unemployment Benefits for 2.9 million recipients, and other benefits allocated for residents that have lost their jobs as well as villagers, the minister informed. IDX Channel reports.
President Joko Widodo calls for geopark potential optimization and preservation. The then president even said that the geopark have the potential to boost tourist visit post-COVID-19 pandemic. President Jokowi considered geoparks as not merely a conservation area. He said geoparks can be used as a space for education and community economic development through ecotourism. Geoparks with their many potentials must be preserved. He also hoped for a balance between the economic values and the environmental sustainability of geoparks. According to the president, Indonesia is one of the countries with the most geoparks in the world, as it sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire. Some of them are even recognized as UNESCO Global Geoparks Heritage Sites. Moreover, the president says that geoparks have the potential to boost tourist visits and are considered suitable for the post-COVID-19 tourism trend.
Semua keragaman dan kekayaan yang kita miliki harus kita jaga dan lindungi. Tidak dirusak dan dieksploitasi secara berlebihan bangsa dan negara kita. Selain untuk edukasi bagi anak-anak bangsa, geopark juga bisa dikembangkan menjadi tempat geowisata yang menarik, di mana wisatawan tidak hanya menikmati keindahan alam, sejarah geologi dan keragaman budaya di geopark, tapi juga bisa ikut terlibat untuk mengkonservasi lingkungan. Saya melihat geopark cocok dengan tren pariwisata saat ini di masa pandemi yang mengedepankan ekoturism dan wellness tourism.
Moving on to global update, the U.S. has said it is releasing 50 million barrels of oil from its strategic reserve to bring down energy prices. Meanwhile, Australia has said El Niño event has developed for a second consecutive year. More stories on today's International Minute.
The United States has said it is releasing 50 million barrels of oil from its strategic reserve in an attempt to bring down energy prices. The move is being taken in a parallel with other major energy-consuming nations, including China, India, Japan, South Korea, and the UK. U.S. President Joe Biden has repeatedly asked the OPEC group for oil producers to increase production more rapidly. Australia has said a La Niña event has developed for a second consecutive year, meaning there is a greater risk locally of flood and cyclones. Last time, the weather phenomenon contributed to once-in-a-century rains battering parts of Australia, but La Niña can lead to significant weather changes in different parts of the world. Iran and the International Atomic Energy Agency have agreed to maintain communication and dialogue after the nuclear watchdog's Director General visited Tehran days before talks to restore the 2015 nuclear deal resumed in Vienna. Rafael Grossi landed in the Iranian capital and met the country's nuclear chief, Mohammad Eslami, early on Tuesday. The two then said during a joint news conference they agreed to continue talks. Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has announced more than $28 million medical, food and other humanitarian assistance for Afghanistan, while also authorizing the transport of food aid from India through Pakistan to Afghanistan. Khan met his country's Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa and top government official in the Pakistani capital Islamabad on Monday. IDX Channel reports.
Market Headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Kini aplikasi mClears hadir di handphone Anda untuk memudahkan transaksi Anda. Informasi aktivitas clearing dan penjaminan tidak lagi hanya dapat diakses melalui komputer di kantor Anda, melainkan dapat diakses di mana saja dan kapan saja dalam genggaman Anda. Fitur-fitur mClears. Equity clearing dan settlement adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi kewajiban settlement anggota clearing hingga nilai alternate case settlement serta informasi gagal bayar. Risk management adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, kolateral, MKBD, portofolio harian, risk charge anggota clearing dan kombinasi, serta nilai minimum cash collateral. Derivatif adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, margin call, dan informasi clearing derivatif. Terkait pinjam-meminjam efek, terdapat fitur mengenai borrowing information dan lendable pool information, serta lending revenue dan borrowing fee. Serta menu lain yang menampilkan informasi mengenai haircut, risk charge saham, dan nilai harga penyelesaian harian dan harga penyelesaian final. Selain itu, Anda juga dapat mengakses fitur pengumuman, peraturan, dan informasi layanan KPEI pada aplikasi mClears. Download aplikasi mClears di App Store atau Google Play Store. Lakukan registrasi user Anda dengan menggunakan alamat email berdomain resmi yang sesuai dengan anggota clearing Anda. Setelah registrasi, Anda akan diberikan kode OTP di email Anda untuk verifikasi. Dan aplikasi mClears Anda siap untuk digunakan. Anda dapat mengakses seluruh menu pada aplikasi mClears dengan melakukan aktivasi berlangganan premium yang dapat dilakukan dengan memilih menu Get Premium. Download aplikasinya sekarang, lakukan registrasi, dan dapatkan kemudahan dalam genggaman tangan Anda. Kemudahan informasi KPEI dalam genggaman Anda.
Welcome back. Health Minister Budi Gunadi Sadikin says that the COVID-19 pandemic has provided great collaboration opportunities for building a stronger international health system. The minister emphasized that pandemic has taught each country to strengthen international collaboration for improving regional and global health system, as well as establishing health system resilience to protect future generations from potential crisis. In building a resilient global health system, it must be ensured that the emergency funding mechanism is accessible to all countries so that every country can get immediate technical and logistical support amid a pandemic.
We should never let this crisis go to waste. As we learn from the current pandemic, we are now in a much better position to collaborate, both at the regional and the global level, to strengthening and making our health system more resilient. Ladies and gentlemen, to deal with the current and to anticipate the future pandemic, we need to rebuild our global health system architecture. As Indonesia holds the next G20 presidency, we take our pride to propose 3 priority issues throughout the G20 presidency. We need to ensure a mechanism where emergency funding is accessible to all countries so that technical and logistical support can be mobilized when a pandemic emerges.
Indonesia's palm oil exports and production in 2021 are likely to fall for a second straight year. The expected decline is due to a sharp drop of crude palm oil exports and output issues stemming from less fertilizer use and poor plantation upkeep.
Indonesia's palm oil exports and production in 2021 are both likely to fall for a second straight year, the vice chairman of the country's palm oil associations, or GAPKI, said. The expected decline at the world's top producer is due to a sharp drop for crude palm oil export and output issues stemming from less fertilizer use and poor plantation upkeep. Total palm oil exports are expected to fall for a second year by 0.34% in 2021 from a year earlier, GAPKI Vice Chairman Togar Sitanggang told. Indonesia's crude palm oil exports, meanwhile, are expected to plummet by 60.5% this year compared to 2020, he added, as top buyer India opts for refined products instead. Sitanggang said the fall in exports overall were mainly due to the slump in CPO shipments. This is the second time GAPKI has revised their export outlook for 2021. The associations forecasted last month that 2021 total palm oil export would rise 1.2%, despite a then estimated drop in CPO export of 54.4%. Sitanggang said that the drop in CPO export is in line with the country's goal to kiss CPO export altogether, while beefing up shipments of value-added palm oil. IDX Channel reports.
Minister of National Development Planning Suharso Monoarfa said that Indonesia's productivity level was still low, which has even become an issue in the last 30 years. According to Suharso, the cause of Indonesia's low productivity is due to the lack of students studying total factor productivity. This condition cannot be separated from the destruction of technology and changing business models. The same is in the financial industry. The demand for human resources is also changing, so that it requires an increase in the expertise of human resources to produce a skilled workforce. Therefore, in the last 12 years, the Indonesian economy has tended to grow below its potential rate.
Mengapa kita masih lower middle income? Salah satunya adalah tingkat produktivitas kita yang rendah. Tingkat produktivitas kita yang rendah ini memang sesuatu yang menjadi satu isu saya kira dalam 30 tahun ya. 30 tahun kita tidak pernah loncat dalam hal tingkat produktivitas. Dan di lower middle income kita tadinya sudah masuk di upper middle income, tetapi kemudian terkoreksi karena pandemi masuk di lower middle income.
The use of peer-to-peer lending has increased in line with the increasing needs of the community in the midst of the pandemic. Based on data from the Financial Services Authority, in September 2021, outstanding of P2P lending fintech loans reached 27.48 trillion rupiah.
Executive Director of the Indonesian Joint Funding Fintech Associations, or AFPI, Kuseriansyah said the use of peer-to-peer lending has increased in line with the increasing needs of the community in the midst of the pandemic. Based on data from the Financial Services Authority, or OJK, outstanding peer-to-peer lending fintech loans reached 27.48 trillion rupiah in September 2021. This value rose 5.3% compared to the previous months, which was 26.09 trillion rupiah. He said the accumulations of loan disbursements until September 2021 also increased to 262.9 trillion rupiah, or an increase of 64% from the January 2021 period of 159.5 trillion rupiah. As for the total funds, he said as much as 58.64% had been channeled for financing the productive sector. Therefore, he continued, AFPI support each of its members to achieve positive business growth in order to advance the industry. Meanwhile, to strengthen the fintech lending industry, the associations with the OJK has tightened fintech supervisions in order to comply with the applicable code of conduct and regulation. IDX Channel report.
Stay with us because market headlines will be right back after the break.
Anugerah CSR IDX Channel 2021 merupakan ajang bergengsi yang memberikan penghargaan kepada perusahaan-perusahaan yang telah menunjukkan kualitas unggul, strategis dan berkelanjutan terhadap program-program CSR, dan merupakan ajang yang akan mendorong keberlanjutan program CSR di Indonesia. Saksikan Anugerah CSR IDX Channel 2021 hanya di IDX Channel.
Love your work and then you will find master in it gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya kamu udah suka sama pekerjaan kamu, ya pasti kamu akan lebih enjoy gitu kan. Jadi lebih nggak ada beban gitu. Jadi aku rasa sih.
Sebanyak 7 bank telah menyetujui restrukturisasi kredit PT Waskita Karya Persero Tbk dengan outstanding sebesar 21,9 triliun rupiah.
Pemirsa, Bursa Efek Indonesia mencatat saat ini terdapat 12 emiten yang berencana melakukan buyback saham.
Pertimbangan dengan 4 rekomendasi saham ini, Pak Rofandi, mungkin untuk Akra terlebih dahulu, Pak.
2 hari ini mungkin dia akan berkonsolidasi dan akan terjadi rebound.
Kementerian Pariwisata dan Ekonomi Kreatif secara tegas akan memperketat bagi para wisatawan asing yang akan liburan ke Bali.
Ya, nantinya wisatawan asing harus melakukan swab PCR sebelum keberangkatan.
Para wisatawan-wisatawan yang sehat, para wisatawan yang sudah tervaksin.
Selama pandemi, banyak armada taksi dari Taksi di Thailand menganggur.
Berencana akan melepaskan saham holding BUMN pertambangan Main ID di Bursa Efek Indonesia.
We're in the last segment at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today. JCI was opened at the level of 6,689.06 and then approaching the closing time of the session. The index was on the level of 6,676.15. Then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,683.28. In short, JCI went up 0.08%. And next we're going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got energy as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 0.88%. Infrastructure went up 0.33%. And technology as the leader of the weakening trend that went down 1.43%. And health went down 0.69%. Moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. BBKP went up 5.37% to the level of 314 per share. Arto went up 3.4% to the level of 15,200 per share. Pegas went up 4.21% to the level of 1,610 rupiah per share. CPRO went up 13.64% to the level of 125 per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got Yellow went down 5.32%. to the level of 178 rupiah per share. Adaro went down 0.59% to the level of 1,695 rupiah per share. And BRMS went down 0.83% to the level of 119 rupiah per share. Buka went down 0.75% to the level of 665 rupiah per share. And we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Opened at the level of 14,194. Rupiah was also showing weakening trend towards US dollar. Was closed at the level of 14,245 rupiah. In summary, rupiah went down 0.36%. A subsidiary of HK Metals, Utama, posted a new export record for extruded aluminum products. As of mid-November 2021, the company recorded exports of 593 tons or 30 billion rupiah.
A subsidiary of HK Metals Utama recorded a new export record for extruded aluminum products this November. As of mid-November, the company recorded exports of 220 tons, compared to total exports from January to October 2021. The company recorded exports of 373 tons, or a total monthly average of 37 tons. The increase in exports in November reached 590% compared to the monthly average year-to-date in October. Until now, the total export has reached 593 tons. Director and Corporate Secretary of HK Metals Utama, Jody Pujiono, say the very significant increase in exports of company's subsidiary aluminum extrusions was due to several things. Focus on making improvements internally and the export market situation, which is also still under pressure. This was coupled with an increase in COVID-19 cases at the beginning of the third quarter of 2021, both in Indonesia and the company's export target countries. In November, the surge in exports was a positive result of cooperation with a strategic partner, which is the initial stage of export market expansion and is expected to continue in the future. Until mid-November, exports reached 593 tons or 30 billion rupiah, up 163% with a year-end target of 750 tons. It is expected that the company's export value will reach 40 billion rupiah. IDX Channel reports.
Unilever Indonesia plans to distribute an interim dividend of 66 per share, or equivalent to a total value of 2.51 trillion rupiah for 2021. Unilever management revealed that the dividend distribution was based on the decision of the company's board of directors meeting on November 19, 2021. In the meeting, it was decided that the company will distribute interim dividends to holders of 38.15 million shares, whose names are registered until December 1st, 2021. According to the schedule, come dividends in the regular market and negotiations will be held on November 29, 2021. Ex-dividends in the regular market and negotiations on November 30, 2021. The distribution of dividends for the 2021 financial year is supported by Unilever's performance until the third quarter of 2021. During that period, Unilever was still able to record a net profit of around 4 trillion rupiah. Until the third quarter of 2021, MNC Studios International recorded a net profit growth of 70% year-on-year. The company's net profit reached 211.2 billion rupiah.
MNC Studios International recorded a total consolidated revenue of 1.31 trillion rupiah in the third quarter of 2021. That number increased by 26% compared to the third quarter of 2020. The company's net profit also increased by 70% year-on-year to 211.2 billion rupiah in the third quarter of 2021. In addition, the net profit margin was recorded at 16.1%. Valencia Tanusudibyo, director of MNC Studios International, said that when social restrictions began to be relaxed with COVID cases significantly decreasing, the company was able to produce more volume of content. For information, the company's digital revenue also grew 123% year-on-year to 293.3 billion rupiah in the third quarter of 2021. The company's digital revenue growth mainly comes from the company's productivity in digital content, as well as the company's monetization performance as the largest traffic generator on social media platforms. To date, the company has more than 154.9 million subscribers and 47.8 billion views on YouTube, 57 million followers and 3.7 billion views on Facebook, and 101.5 million followers on TikTok. IDX Channel reports.
Step aside from market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still going on. Here is an update data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia. And the news close our market lunch today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic, Business and Capital Market Channel. And to prevent the spread of COVID-19, always wear a mask and get vaccinated immediately. Masks have been shown to reduce the risk of transmission of 80%, while vaccines minimize the risk of death by 73%. So wear mask and get vaccinated, because masks and vaccines keep us healthy and happy. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
pagi pemirsa.